Hi, my name is Sunny. I'm the abundant bitch and ADHD witch. And a lot of you have been messaging me. Of course, we have Black Friday happening. So there are crazy deals. If you've been wanting to hire a coach and mentor, whether it's one-on-one, personal or business coaching, or you've wanted to come into one of our group coaching programs, and maybe you haven't been able to, or maybe you haven't had the opportunity to do that yet, we have some crazy deals happening. So comment down below and I'll send you the deals. So you can comment Black Friday. But the point of this introduction is a lot of you have been messaging me of like, hey, I'm curious, what do your classes look like? I'm curious about what you teach. I'm curious about, to experience an actual high level coaching class. What does that look like? What does that feel like? So I'm going to show you that here today. Let's get into it. Hello, my friends. Today we have an epic class. We are going to talk about why you put pressure on yourself, why this is in existence within your nervous system, and how it comes about. But of course, before that, we are going to get into a beautiful meditation. So please get yourself settled. Have some water close by to you for this class. Feel free to turn off your cameras for this beautiful session. And just close your eyes. I'm going to get some lovely meditation music going. Ah, let yourself breathe in and out. We're going to connect you to your deepest center today. This is the point of your authenticity where you feel confident and comfortable expressing yourself fully. So I want you to put your hand on your heart. I'll turn on my video for a moment so you can see. I kind of have it really straight like this. Okay. Put your hand on your heart and in your center in this way. This helps you get centered. This helps you get connected. And take a deep breath in right through your nose on 4 counts. Okay. And then we're going to release through the mouth on 8. Deep breath in, hold, and release. This entirely relaxes your nervous system. So we're going to do that again. Breathe in on 4 counts. Hold. And release on 8 counts. One more time. Hold at the top. And release on 8 counts. Let yourself get settled in your body. See if you can hear my tuning fork here. Thank you to your highest self. Vibrational frequencies can be felt through the screen. Let yourself feel alive. Let yourself get connected. Let yourself feel the possibilities of anything being possible for you. I think sometimes we get stuck in a loop of feeling like nothing can happen or that things aren't possible. And that's simply not true. The limitations that you set upon yourself are just that, they are set within your mind. We're going to be clearing those today. Take a couple of deep breaths here. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Let yourself relax. How would you be feeling if you had it all? And the question from last class, what are you preparing for? Are you prepared to receive it all? Let yourself get into a state where you believe you are prepared. All right, whenever you're ready, please turn your cameras back on. So first thing this morning, we're actually going to listen to a channeled message that I recorded just a couple days ago. And it really talks about why we put so much pressure on ourselves. Let me see if this is it. Just a moment. All right.
I think for me, I've been so hard on myself because some part of my brain believed that if I was hard on myself, that I would get it completed, whatever it is, reach the goal, complete the task, get a project entirely completed in one day. Just unrealistic expectations for myself, really.
Mm-hmm.
So why do we set unrealistic expectations for ourselves? Because our higher self doesn't do that. Our higher self lives in so much more flow than we do right now. And that's something that your higher self wants you to know today. It's something your higher self wants you to know is that you have access to this flow and freedom. So I believe that I put pressure on myself because I feel like, no, hold on. I put pressure on myself because I believe it will get me somewhere. I believe that it will get me somewhere faster. I believe that I'll have control if I do it with pressure. And I believe that it will yield me the results I desire. But what I've seen in the past and the results and how those results come about and how I've seen those results come about, nothing ever actually came to me much faster than when I was in flow. So what does flow look like to me? Flow is a state of being where you are in, I wouldn't say absolute bliss, but that's the words that are coming through. Flow is the state where you're in absolute bliss internally, knowing that everything is coming to you at the right time, that everything is working out for you. and you don't have anything to worry about because life is moving in the direction that you like it to move to. You are trusting the process, everything is working out for you. And being in that state is so much more powerful than allowing the pressure to seep in. Some of the things that I've learned with putting pressure on myself is the fact that nothing ever actually happens faster. We have the pressure, and it's like this ongoing cycle. We'll put pressure on ourselves. We'll finally get the thing done. And then what? The results don't show up. Nothing happens in the speed that we want it to happen. And if the cycle is the same, and your timeline already exists for a reason, the one that you've chosen. You can always choose a different one. Remember, it's just a second thought away. But if the timeline that you chose this morning, a minute ago, and another minute ago, and another minute ago, and another minute ago, and if the timeline that you chose that minute, that's the timeline that you are on. And within that timeline, there are rules. And the rules say that you have to be in flow. And if you are putting pressure on yourself, nothing is actually going to happen much faster. So when we get things done, it's kind of like, do you think that you actually got a whole lot more done, or a lot more was productive when your mom yelled at you, take out the garbage, or do this for a change, or do this? Do you think that it made you more passionate about what you were doing? I can guarantee you that your result would be much more successful and would be much more well received when in the flow of passion. When you're able to step into the area of passion within your life, you're able to achieve a lot more because the energy surrounding passion is powerful. The energy surrounding pressure is also powerful, yet going in the wrong direction.
So that was something very important there. The energy surrounding passion is powerful, and the energy surrounding pressure is also powerful. Okay, let's keep listening.
Able to separate those two things, you're able to come together in a way that really best aligns with you. All of us neurodivergent babies that, maybe you grew up in an emotionally neglectful home, or a hostile home, or you experienced narcissistic abuse from a parent. All of us have a little bit more work to do when it comes to, maybe that's wrong. Hold on. All of us have a little bit more work to do when it comes to the awareness of a thing, when it comes to paying attention to actually working with our neurodivergence rather than against it. And where we don't have to work a lot, where other people might, is the actual execution of it. Because we have the capability to be so creative, so imaginative, so innovative, this leaves so much room for us and not that much room for them. There are people smarter than you making bigger leaps in life. There are people stupider than you making bigger leaps in life. There are people more passionate making bigger leaps in life. And there are people less passionate making bigger leaps in life. It's just about choosing how you'd like to live. And it's not to say that the people who might be In fact, it's proven that the people that are smarter than you likely aren't taking those really big, risky leaps that end up in full success because there's too much risk involved. But the people that are stupider than you, they have less to lose. They don't think about the consequences as much. They don't overthink about what if something happens, and they take that leap and it ends up being successful. But there are a whole lot of other people out there doing things out of passion, out of imagination, out of innovation, and they are getting paid to do it. And I'm not saying this because you don't have that opportunity or there's not enough water in that pool or there's not enough room in that pool for you. I'm actually saying this because there's more than enough room in that pool for you. In fact, that pool lights up when you walk into it. So, who are you going to be today to get access to the you that you want tomorrow?
Mhm. Who are you going to be today to have access to the you that you want tomorrow? A lot of us don't think about this. We want something and we want it badly and we just want it to happen so badly, right? We're living on hope. We're living on prayer. We're living on a little bit of faith. But mostly we're living on an unactionable item that we want so badly, but we don't believe is for us, that we don't believe we can have, that we don't believe we can experience. And so if you're living in this way, if you're living in a place where you want something so badly, but you don't believe you can have it, those two things cannot coexist. Love and fear cannot coexist. And at the same time, what's really fascinating is love and fear both you have faith in something you can't see, right? You love your partner, you love your dog, you love the universe, you love your connection to source. And yet these aspects we cannot physically see with the eye. And fear works the same. When we are connected to fear, we are connecting to an emotion or a thought or a process that we cannot see. We are making it up in our heads, and our brains are so strong-willed in keeping us safe and allowing us to stay small, keeping us small. Um, Sorry, I think I have a dog hair in my mouth. I don't know how that happened. We'll see. We'll see. Um, Keeping us small and keeping us mediocre, right? So if our belief is not tied to, if our belief is tied to the fear rather than the love of something, then we're going to be consistently pursuing that fear. We're going to be consistently in that fear, and we are not going to receive our desire because we're operating from a level of fear. Fear is one of the lower vibrations on the vibrational scale. For those of you who have been to my classes before, you know that we've taught on the vibrational scale. I will put it up here somewhere. So in the editing process, so you'll be able to see that again. And the vibrational scale really talks about the scales of emotions and their frequencies. And recently, the Spain scale of emotion has figured out that the frequency of authenticity is actually the strongest, is actually the most valuable frequency to express and experience when you want to attract what you desire. So we're going to hop into a reading. I want you guys to hold an intention for the session today. Ask yourself if there's anything that you feel like your heart needs to know, that you feel like you need answers for. Okay. And if you've just joined us, take a couple of deep breaths to get grounded. Okay. I'm going to turn off my camera for a second and figure out where this dog hair is. I don't know. I can't find it. It's somewhere in my throat. Anyway, just keeping it real, you know. So we're going to be pulling some angel cards today. As you know, I love this deck. I've used it. I'm like an ASMR queen. I'm like, um, and I love this so much as the whole lid slides over the keyboard. And one of my favorite parts of the deck is actually the message inscripted on the inside. So, guardians of the four corners, mother in the earth, father in the sky, angels, ancestors, sacred ones, I call on you and welcome you here now. And the bottom says, I set the intention that whatever is gained from the lessons learned from this tool will be dedicated to the growth of all beings in all places. So, one of my favorite messages. We're going to pull some cards today. There are some crazy energies happening. And if you've been putting a lot of pressure on yourself or you have a fear of being seen, we're going to be talking a little bit about that today. And if you're being called for a bigger, much deeper future that you know that you have a calling for, but there's a lot of fear there, we're going to get you some answers. So let me get that meditation music back. And hopefully it's not too loud. Set your intentions right now. Right now, what I'm doing is I'm asking your guides to come in, for them to show up for you today, to give you a message that you desire, deserve to hear. Great teacher. So that's kind of crazy. I was doing a reading for a friend on her birthday, and this came through. Learn from spiritual experiences. So a lot of you have had spiritual experiences, whether through dreams or in your waking life, that some of them may not be utterly explainable. And these have happened for you, to you, for a purpose. Okay. I'm seeing like some of you may have seen angels. Some of you may have taken photographs of yourself and you've seen orbs floating around. Some of you may have had experiences that almost feel otherworldly, that you're not sure how to connect with, or you're not sure how to connect the dots. These spiritual experiences have been happening for you and to you to teach you a lesson of being more open to your potential, to your possibilities, and what can happen for you. What's interesting is like this bird's beak is like right on the edge of the piece of paper. And what's that telling me is like you are ready to be set free from the ways that you have previously created for yourself. So a lot of us have created coping mechanisms and tools and devices for ourselves that really are false tools and false devices. So like one of my previous ones was binge eating, right? It was covering up an emotion whenever I felt like there was a void inside of me. Or for a lot of you, coffee, right? You might love your coffee in the morning because it's like that thing that you need to give you that dopamine hit. So ask yourself what these spiritual messages and teachings are for you that are getting you out of these false beliefs or false habits that we have created for ourselves. And for some of you, the false habit could be feeling unworthy or thinking that you're not good enough or feeling like you're not able to start your own business because somebody else has done something similar. There are so many different areas of life where this could fit into and how we create false beliefs and how they become our actuality. And that's simply to do with our thoughts, patterns, and habits. So, if for any reason you had a teacher when you were growing up and in class you received C's or F's consistently, maybe you decided that you were a failure at that point in time, and that is the message that stuck around for all of those years, all the way up until now. And so we create these very memorable and tangible aspects within the neural pathways in our brain. And each of those is connected to many, many, many coping mechanisms. So to avoid feeling this, to not have to feel this, to not have to see this, to not have to experience this. And the spiritual teachings that you're experiencing right now are here to open you up to a world greater than you've ever known. Magic Guardian. I love this card so much. There we go. Unlock the magic within. This is literally your unlocking. This is literally unlocking the magic within you and allowing you to experience a life more fulfilled. Again, I keep seeing tattoos. So a lot of you are going to be getting tattoos. Maybe they're arm tattoos, neck tattoos, hand tattoos, face tattoos, ear tattoos. This is going to be, I'm seeing them being symbolic to your connection to the spiritual world, to the spiritual realms, as a reminder to serve you that you are a connected being. You are not just here to have that human experience, that you are here delving deeper beyond your own. You are not just here for the 3D, you are here for the 4D and the 5D and the 8D and the 14D and all the Ds. That sounded so wrong. This is coming from a lesbian. That's hilarious. So if you're ready and prepared, you come here for the humor. You don't just come here for the transformation that is without play, okay? Every student of mine experiences so much humor in class, and that is part of the transformation process because if we're not laughing, if we're not playing, what are you doing? So, really connect with your higher power and your higher self. This is really a great time to begin journaling, and I'm seeing five. So, yep, the dog hair is in my throat now. I can feel it. Um, so really connect with your 2025 version of yourself. What do you want to experience? I'm seeing journaling and really pinpointing every month or every week of next year. So 52 pages, okay? 52 weeks. You're going to either pull a card and connect with that version of yourself. Maybe you're going to have your birth chart done and you're going to have a much clearer picture of what's to come. Maybe you're going to ask yourself very open questions to have answers because I'm seeing a lot moving forward for you in the next 6 months. So, 6 months from now, December, January, February, March, April, May. So, May is going to be an unlocking portal for you, an entirely unlocking month that you cannot even picture right now. So I'm asking you to get your pen or pencil on paper and write down exactly what you want to happen because it's going to be happening for you. Get yourself into a state of bliss and abundance. And I'm really seeing gardens here, and gardens always talk about abundance and the abundance that you are to experience. Whew, lots there. I need water. The other big question that even I've been asking myself, and I love to do these kind of methods of journaling. There we go. You can see that. So it says, what do I love? Right? Not who, but what. And really going back, you're going to surprise yourself of how much you can remember from your childhood of what you love and what you're passionate about. Like art is a really big one for me. And so many different aspects just came from the word art. It was like, I love making it. I love creating. I love looking at it. I love observing it and I love loving it. I love the act of loving art. And for me, art comes in so many different forms. And one of the ones that Sierra and I were talking about the other day, her husband is obsessed with architecture. And so that is something I marvel at. Like, I could go to a museum and just, I remember going to the British Museum in London, and I think it's called the Great Britain Museum. I don't know. And it had all of these artifacts from Egypt. And I could just stare at all of that all day. I could be in that energy all day. I could sit there and meditate. I could just be in that aspect of myself all day. And even though I didn't have the tools that I have now when I previously went, I remember like losing my partner at the time, and like we both had our cell phones on us. And I was just like so lost in all of the ancient Egyptian artifacts that were gathered there. So, how can you get lost in what you love and create the life that you desire and want to feel fulfilled by? How can you create that now? Right? When we talk about having what you want and what you desire, it's always be, do, have. Be, do, see. Okay. In order to see or have what you desire, first you have to be it. Then you have to do, right, aligned action towards your goal, towards your vision. And if something isn't in alignment with that action of who you are, ask yourself if it's coming from a place of fear, a place of your past self, okay? Because we all want to um have stability. We all want to create from a place of abundance. And sometimes we get into a place of fear, so we do things from that place of fear, okay? A really good example of that is when I first left my graphic and web design job, not by choice. It was COVID. I was let go with a bunch of other people, obviously due to the situation. And it was one of those moments like I knew that I was set to start my own business. So I started my own business pretty much in 2021 as soon as I was let go. And in all of those moments, there were so many parts of me that felt like, oh my God, Sunny, like just get the job. Like it's going to be so much easier. Just get a job. And every time I looked online for external validation of why I shouldn't get another job, I was proven right. I was proven correct. So I remember Megan and I were living at this very small, like 1 bedroom apartment in Richmond. It's such a small town and it's literally right under the airport. So we had a lot of very bad sleeps in that place because you can hear an airplane landing as if it's landing in your house. And it was one of those experiences where we were not only living there, but we were dog sitting because she didn't have a dog sitter, like the landlord of the space. And she needed a dog sitter, and we love dogs. So I was like, this is a great opportunity to get reduced rent and all of that. Like, that's where my brain used to be, which also that's pretty smart, Sunny, right? Like, great, you got best of both worlds. But when I had the fear of hopping on to a new job, even though my internal system was already regulated to being a business owner and to wanting that so badly, all the results that I was seeing were exactly the internal validation almost that I needed. So I would go online, and look at all these jobs, and everything online was like hiring graphic designer, blah, 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 print shop, $16 an hour. $13 an hour, $19 an hour, junior graphic designer. There were no positions. I used to get paid almost $50 to $60 an hour doing what I did. And I was not seeing anything online that nearly matched this. And you guys, when I tell you that I did this not just in my area, right? I didn't just look in Vancouver, BC. I searched all of Canada. I was proven to my internal validation of wanting to be a business owner that that wasn't my path. So how that can work backwards again is if you have a want, if you have a desire of something that you want, but there's a belief that is currently stopping you from receiving what you want, the world will give you external validation depending on how strong that belief is of why you shouldn't have the thing that you want. Why you don't deserve this, why you shouldn't have this, why you're not worthy of this. And your brain is going to tell you all the lies possible so that you conform yourself to this, right? Until this idea disappears. But we all know, right? The great teacher, how this comes in, we all know when you have a path, when you have a purpose, when you have a mission, when something is so in alignment with us and we continue ignoring it, that voice gets louder. So when I was a graphic and web designer for 13, 14 years, one of the things that was always my side hustle, and I talked a little bit about this on Instagram stories, my side hustle was always the spiritual realm. It was always the spiritual world. I would be giving readings, I would be doing energetic healing sessions, whether it was Reiki or just intuitive guided sessions. I was offering intuitive mentorship and coaching back then as well. But it was coming from a place of this is my side hustle because I'm not worthy of doing this full time. And so the universe kept giving me an opportunity to only have it as my side hustle. It was giving me all of these opportunities to, hey, that's your side hustle. You don't do that. That's weird. And so there was a point in time, especially in 2019, where I gave up mentoring in its totality up until 2021 because somebody had told me, hey, you could be fucking people up, like really seriously. And my self-esteem was not where it is today. It took a hit. I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my God, what if I am? Like, what if I'm ruining someone's life right now? I couldn't. I could not face that version of Sunny. I was like, even though I knew that I was a good person and I'm still a very good person, it was like this impending doom within me of like, what if I fuck something up? And it goes back to the fear of being in trouble, right? Which, like, don't even get me started on the 1600s where all of us were burned and drowned and all of that. And probably before that. But, it really went back to this place of like, I'm so scared to get in trouble. So I put my dreams on hold and it was evident. I wasn't booking any readings. I wasn't putting it out. No matter actually how many times I put it out to the universe and on Instagram back in the day that I was doing readings, that there's a few spots open, nobody booked with me because the belief that I had was overpowering what I desired. It was overpowering what I wanted. Okay. My belief was telling my want, you can't have this. How do you think you're going to get that? That's not safe. Why would you want that? And so when we're overpowered by our current structures that we have set for ourselves, whether they're coping mechanisms, ingrained beliefs, habits, it all boils down to feeling how safe we feel to do something, to accomplish something. And we have to override that software. You have to be willing to install a new upgrade. And for some of you, it's getting an entirely new system. Get a new phone, get a new computer. Because that upgrade, there is no upgrade for this system that is on this channel. for what your desire is. If you want a quantum leap, it's not just a little iOS upgrade. It's here's your new iPhone that doesn't exist yet. Here's your new piece of property that is within your hands because you have created that channel to upgrade. So when we have our beliefs that are so strongly rooted that are keeping ourselves from the want, what do we do? What can we do? Write me in the chat. What can we do if our thoughts are so loud? What can we do if our beliefs are so loud that our desire and our want feels so far away? What can we do to step out of that belief and into a new one? Ooh, you sent that at 11:44. Amazing. Okay, so there are a few avenues, I think. Number one, action precedes motivation, taking an aligned action to hire a coach. Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong, right? When we're too scared to do something, and honestly, like I was saying in my stories today in my on my Instagram account, I could sit here all day and tell you guys how easy it is to, or not how easy, but the simple tips and tools of how you can rewire your brain, how you can rewire and access the softest parts of your nervous system. I could sit here all day and tell you that those two steps are the steps that you need in order to create the life that you desire. And we already know that. Um, the the truth of the matter is it's not as easy as it sounds, and I would have never gotten to where I am now, to where I needed to be to access the level of wealth that I desired if I didn't hire a coach and mentor, because we know what we're doing. We are here to guide you to where you want to be, right? So hiring a coach, that's brilliant. That's amazing. Breaking down what the goal is. Yes. So, a lot of, sorry, there's like, what's with hair today? I'm like, there's one in my eyelash, there was one in my mouth. So breaking down what the goal is. So I like to picture what the biggest thing that you could ever desire. Like everything that you want to be perfect, right? So whether it's, let's say your big vision is dream property, dream car, goats on your farm, rescued horses and cows. You can get your own milk on your farm. You can, you have chickens or ducks, or you have access to a body of water. You have all of this at your fingertips, right? Like that is the big picture. That's the biggest vision. Okay. This to our brains is absolutely scary and terrifying. So we have to break that down, that goal, into mini bite-sized milestone pieces. So what I like to do is, let's say I have a vision of when I want this to happen. Let's say it's 2 years from now, 5 years from now, whatever that is, right? It can happen a lot sooner. I don't stay attached to the time frame, but what I'll do is I'll literally write down, okay, so I want this to happen in approximately this time, this or better, okay? So break down the milestones every single month, right? Milestones can be like monthly milestones. And then you break down those into bite-sized pieces, like little tiny tasks that you can do to get to that milestone every single month so that you are consistently on a track for achieving your goal. And this is going to be the hardest part, okay? Tell yourself in the moments that your brain is telling you you're fucking crazy or delusional, tell Becky to shut up. Tell that bitch to shut up. Just keep going. Keep doing everything that it is in alignment, right? And that includes being. That doesn't, it's not just like doing a bunch of tasks to make yourself feel busy. That's not it at all. Okay. I used to think business owners were so busy doing 900 things at once that I was like, this is what I need to be. And I'm like, oh my God, boy, was I wrong. The most transformative aspects of my business and my company that have generated actual wealth, numbers that I can see and pinpoint, has all come from the transformations that I have experienced behind the scenes. It has nothing to do with me putting out ads, with me scaling my business, with all the strategy. Like, yes, strategy helps. I work with a strategist and a mentor who does this for a living. Like, those things work. I'm not saying they don't work. But in order to wire your brain to a complete place of success for you, every level, there's going to be different levels, right? You're going to either spend a lot of time doing it yourself or you're going to hire a mentor and they're going to help you in the process of achieving this. Fuck off, Becky. Yeah, fuck off, Becky, right? Because at every level, so, and the levels can look different. So let's talk about levels as I'm just going to do this as because numbers are really easy to kind of pinpoint things to. So let's say you have an Instagram account, you want to grow your Instagram channel or your YouTube channel or your TikTok, whatever account you want to grow, and you currently have 10 or 20,000 followers, 30,000, whatever your number is, and you want to grow it by 10,000 more. Okay. That's your goal for the month. Let's say that's your goal for the month because your goal across 12 months is to have 100,000 followers. Okay. When your goal, or 100,000 more followers, should I say, when your goal is that 10,000 followers, okay? But if you have beliefs right here that are holding you back from that goal and vision up here, okay? What's going to end up happening is, let's say you're at the 10,000 follower mark and you want 20,000 followers, you're going to get 19,999 followers. Or you're going to get 20,000 and then it's going to be bumped down like the next day or the next week because your belief system isn't quite there yet. So it's a rewiring of the brain that happens at every stage. And this is something that I was choosing to ignore because when I first hired a mentor, I was like, great, I got it down. Everything's fine. I'm successful now. And then I didn't realize, like, oh, like leveling up is a process every time. It's not like this thing that you do once. Okay. So that's why I'm a business coach. That's why I'm a transformational coach and a manifestation coach, because at every single level, there are these aspects of you that are going to need upgrades, right? So when your beliefs match your want, your belief matches your want, it is so easy. They're speaking to each other, they're directly connected. And that's why it works. You can clap your hands when they're that close, right? Because when they're on this level, that's a bit awkward. Can't do that. That's weird. They're not speaking to each other, they're not connecting. The energies and the frequencies are entirely different from what you want and desire to what your beliefs are pointing you to. And the more you hear Becky talking in your head, the more you can just tell her to shut up and keep moving. It's all good. Do it scared, do it anyway. Put that cringy thing online. Whatever your goal is right now, do whatever your heart's desire is setting you to do because play is at such a high frequency that you're going to generate your desire much more quickly simply by being in play. Is that making sense, you guys? You can react or give me a message in the chat. Okay, last card, and then I'm gonna leave some space for questions. So we'll do like a little Q&A. So last card is Trader. And this says exchange energy to create abundance. And as we know, money is energy, time is energy, you are energy. What can you exchange in order to create abundance? So a lot of the time when it comes to the universe is favorite way of communication is frequency, right? It's not you shouting at the universe being like, this is what I want. Why haven't you given this to me yet? But it's frequency. So when you're in a state of gratitude, you're opening up the doors and the frequency that the universe recognizes. So trade gratitude to create abundance. And what I like to do is I've created a practice now where it's pretty consistent in my life, which is really cool, where I'm not doing it to gain something. I am just consistently grateful. I'm seeing the things that I'm grateful for, and I'm like, oh my God, this is so amazing. Like, life is everything I ever pictured, everything I ever dreamed of. Like, this is so great. This is amazing. Everything is happening for me. But before that, it took a little bit of time to get to a place where I was consistently grateful. I had a gratitude journal for over 2 years, writing every single day what I'm grateful for and having to think about it. So know that it takes a little bit of time, right? Don't put so much pressure on yourself, and your manifestations will come in when you're ready and when they're ready. I'm also kind of being guided to see what the book says about this card. This deck is by Kyle Gray. I love his decks and his work so much. There are even non-binary guardians and angels in this deck, so I really love that. So let's see. Okay. Message. Make connections and exchange information, talents, or support. So this is really giving the energy of networking. It's giving the energy of posting valuable content for others to consume, for being known for what you want to be known for. Make it funny, who cares? And sharing your talents with the world, right? Your gifts. About. The trader brings the lesson and energy of exchange. When he appears, he could represent an opportunity to exchange talents, whatever they may be, in order to expand or be about the exchange of energies that come from the universe, or both. In order to expand or be about the exchange of energies that come from the universe, or both. For example, if you are a creative person or consider yourself creative, when you share your talents, you are giving them. And when you do so, the universe will give you more in order for you to share more. It's all a beautiful cycle. The trader also reminds you to be open and honest and act with integrity in your exchanges, because doing something to get something will only lead to challenges. It's kind of giving me the energy of, like, for example, when I first started in the manifestation journey and I was, writing my gratitude journal for like 2 years consistently, very consistently, because I knew what I wanted to manifest. And at the time it was money. And so, I mean, it's always money, love, health, wealth, happiness, right? But at the time, my focus really was on manifesting money. So I would talk about in my journal every single penny that I was grateful for that came in for me. And that was in order to attract more wealth. And when you're doing it at first, it's going to feel so, so weird. But when you continue working with that aspect, it's going to feel so natural. Like we were not dog sitting, but like walking someone's dog, our neighbor's dog, for the last 2 weeks, just like a couple days a week. And I'm like, I'm already walking my dog, so I can walk your dog too. This is great. And they sent me cash this morning. It was close to $200 that I wasn't expecting to come into my bank account. And I was so grateful for the opportunity. They were like, you took such great care of Luna, and like you trained with her and you took her on an hour walk every single day. And I'm like, for me, it was just an opportunity to get my dog acquainted with other dogs because she's a rescue. And so when you're working with this beautiful energy of gratitude and acceptance, things, money, opportunities, friendships, love, these all of these are going to be coming to you, not because you're expecting it from a place of lack, but because you're expecting it from a place of abundance. You already know that you have it. So when you're operating on that energy and on that frequency, of course things are going to show up for you. How could they not? How could they not? Okay, take a couple deep breaths, you guys. This has been like packed with channeling and information and godlike frequency. And so many mindset shifts probably happened for you during this class. So please drink your water. Take a deep breath right now. And I'll just open it up for the next couple of minutes for a Q&A. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask me in the chat. Whether it's a question for me, question for source, spirit. Can you talk more about when we level up and Becky gets louder? How to not get roped into the monkey mind loops. Yeah. Overthrow Becky. Overthrow Becky. Like what happens with me when I know I'm leveling up and Becky is just so fucking loud, so fucking obnoxious. Like the shit that comes out of her mouth, I'm like, bitch, you did not just say that. You did not call me fat. You did not call me incompetent or invaluable. You did not. And so when she's getting really, really loud, I get loud. I will literally be driving in my car and I'll be like, I am rich. I am wealthy. I fucking got this. I can do this. Like I am yelling. And our car has an interesting feature where like people from outside can't hear anything when the windows are up. So either people think I'm really angry and yelling into outer space, or they think I'm probably singing to like Slipknot or something like that. So I get louder, okay? And I'm like, shut up. You shut up there because I can do this. Because what happens when we're about to jump into a new frequency are all of our cells, our whole body feels uncomfortable. We want to take that leap, but our body doesn't want to take that leap. It's like that whole thing over there is like unsafe. And so this is our brain's programming, right? And so when Becky gets loud, guess who needs to get louder? You pretend you have the Dallas Cowboys backing up your affirmations so that Becky can be like, I'll shut up now. I will sit in the corner and say nothing like a good little girl until the next time I decide to level up. And then I'll make a scene. And then we'll have the same conversation over and over again. If that's not the most relatable thing, I don't know what is, because when we're about to level up, she'll get loud and she'll get monstrous and just like big and scary. And then she'll shut up for a while because we've completed something, we've gone through something. It's like if you're doing public speaking or if you're getting an award or if you're having a baby, if you're getting a new opportunity, like maybe this is something you haven't experienced before in the past. So Becky is gonna get loud. She's gonna get angry. She's gonna tell you you're not worthy of doing this, completing this. You have to move forward anyway. You have to complete this. You have to do this because your internal dialogue of your intuition is telling you to. So when you go forward with that, once you're there and once you're doing it, Becky shuts up. She's like this duck that has like an elastic band over her mouth or her beak, and she's like, I'll just shut up. I'll just be over here. I won't say anything. And then when you say to the universe, like, I am, I want to level up because this is what I want, the closer you get to that, she's going to be like, "Wah, wah," right? If she's a duck, but you'll understand. Anyway, things will get louder and things will get more and more consistently uncomfortable. But if you tell yourself, you got this, you're moving forward with it, regardless of the conversation happening in your head, soon that conversation that is happening, the one-ended conversation that you are hearing in your head that Becky is just talking about, right? It's going to stop. It's going to slow down because you have to do it anyway. So it's almost like if you're a parent, you're already used to tuning out your children at some point in time. Like, I know this sounds terrible to say, but I know you are because they're going to be singing in the background, they're going to be making noise in the background, and you're just used to it, right? Until they're like, "Mom, can I have something?" Right? Do this with your thoughts. Only treat the thoughts respectfully that are treating you with respect. Don't let your thoughts bully you. Don't let Becky bully you. Fuck her. Does that answer your question? Basically, fuck Becky. Hell yeah. Okay, great. I'm so glad. You guys, this has been such a fun class. Thank you for showing up for yourself, for being here, for being the truest version of you, and for continuing to step into your authenticity. I am always so looking forward to celebrating you and your wins. So please post them in the chat, in the group. Message me if you want to share your wins and they're not something you want to share with the world, but you're like, I have to tell my coach this. Message your friends, share your wins with your friends, the ones that are going to be cheering you on. Okay. This is how you keep your energy and your beautiful frequency going. So I will see you next Thursday. I'm so excited that today's class took place on such a beautiful day. And we'll see you next Thursday. Bye.